Now I can just throw those to you. Alright, these ones are really good. Looks like these are.
Just checking.
Let's look for it. We got a voided check. I'll throw that over here. You guys want me to read or not?
Yeah. Whatever you want to do. Yeah, you're going to say short. Whatever you want to do.
You want me to read? Yeah, go ahead. All right.
Go ahead. Hands free. Read too fast? No, I just want you to be out of the loop.
Kirsten Patch, 442.26. Christine Belanger, 653.23. Ian Matheson, 122.41. Mark Turner, 485.94. Stephanie Lazat, 360.18. Joyce Kegel, 665.60.
For a total of $2,729.62.
The boy came off.
Same deal.
Look, let me do something. Have a break. Have a break.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
George Abel, $1,188.40. Ellen Archeri is $944.39. Jared Olson, $722.12. Andrea Bickham is $560.87. Joseph Bird is $803.01. Gloria Wendia, $539.05. Karen Clement, we have to sign it, $994.41. Michael Dane, $663.51. Dwayne Demerit, $693.67. Phoebe Dennis Wall is $92.12. Tracy Flingers is $384.69. Pamela Fredericks is $28.63. Kenneth Gauthier is $803.96. Warren Graham is $234.06. Kip Kaiser is $756.19.
You skipped one, Richard. You skipped Andrew Gray.
Andrew Gray.
You skipped him.
I'm giving you a hard time. Maybe you're not gonna pay.
I'll wait.
Andrew Gray, $540.67.
Yeah, Bill didn't have a check. We got
Michael Kilrain, $518.11. Heather Lindsay is $575.42. Joyce Miller is Boyd. Rachel Mowbray is $29.56. Wayne Robinson, $793.75. David Roy, $1,007.97. Jeremy Smith, $741.62. Katrina Tennant is $329.69. Olivia Wall is $44.32. And Daniel Wicks is $1,121.04. Janice Weirs is $700.01. Jeremy Worcester is $539.31. Daphne Ross is $556.28.
total of $16,906.82. They use my 80 cents. One.
Total was $19,636.44. Did you guys want me to read again?
Keep going.
You did a great job.
You got 8 more minutes to get done.
You're pushing Butch to have to turn off the recorder that quick.
You want me to do this again?
Whatever you want. And you want what's that?
You can check me while I go through.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
AT&T Mobility is $1,280.51. Ben's Uniforms is $27. Ken Christensen is $165.46. Comcast is $86.90. C&S Specialty is $160. Donahue Tucker Sandella $129.93. Cinderella. East Coast Emergency Outfitters $150. Eversource is $1,269.63. Exeter Regional Co-op is $535,772 even.
That's a
Apartment
lot.
oil and propane is $2,868.55. Health Trust Inc. is $12.50. Innerwear Development is $175. Choice Kegel is $7.54. Leaf is $137. Mitchell Animal Hospital is $120.80. Morton Salt is $3,092.72. Neptune Uniforms is $134.98. NHCTCA is $70. NHTCA Charity Baker Tax Collect is $180. New Hampshire Fish and Game is $1,072. Nortrax is $110.75. Oliver Mechanical is $1,777.80. Quill Corporation is $68.17. Armand is $703. Seacoast Mills Building Supply is $3.38. Sprint is $11.41. Starkey Welding and Crane Service is $165. Suburban Propane is $3,150.20. Universe
Wait a minute, 3,000, oh, never mind, okay. Never mind.
Universe is $81.78. Valak is $343.78. Verizon Wireless is $60.12. WB Mason is $153.47, and Daphne Was is $15.
For a total of $553,556.38.
May I ask what we're paying New Hampshire Fish and Game, $1,000+ for?
Mr. Bill?
It's their,
That's the portion that the town has to pay for doing the permits.
Licenses and permits.
So they must have done a lot of,
Fishing and hunting?
well, those are snowmobiles,
Oh, licensing them, oh.
yeah.
Overtime for the PD was 13 hours and 13.5 hours, and highway was 3.5. Three red checks.
You're signing the wrong place.
No, I'm just saying, I thought his name was only up with an M.
fix that, I fixed it. Sometimes mistakes are made. Yeah. Thanks. Right here.
Yeah, that's you.
My advisor needed art.
Check $535,717.
You gotta want that.
Small.
Compared to all the other checks.
We started the year at 700.
That's the one that go up.
Yeah, so we took in 89,000, which is pretty good move. Some tax money in there, which is kind of unexpected. Despite paying the school and moving 500,000, we still have just under $4 million.
Good deal.
Well, I appreciate it, as usual.
Mr. Kip. How are you doing this week?
Hi, doing fine. How's everyone at the table this evening?
Way up there though.
Good.
We can't see you though, really.
You're pretty far away. Hopefully we'll hear you.
Okay, we'll start off with 313 Route 125. Justin Proclamer. Like this, correct. And this is an electric permit for some motors for car lifts. 99 Prescott Road. Megan and Adam Croto, and this is for a fence around an in-ground pool that needs one. Next, 8 Sunset Lane, and this is for Three Ponds LLC, and this is a new well.
Yeah, some places, some very firms, yeah. Yeah. All fields.
One house.
One house.
That's about the 4th or 5th one, isn't it? So
Yeah, they got the, they had a couple already.
This should be the 4th foundation.
It's a big berm thing they're building around the double wide. They've got like a big berm built that they can out, make like a big,
So it doesn't run off, right?
straight behind the double wide they're taking out. I saw it today. They make a big lagoon in there, so there's nothing in it.
Oh, to be honest with you, I'm not sure what's going on there. I mean, they were working on the bridge.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
And they were creating materials.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Okay, it just looks like a big lagoon.
Yeah, go back. I think that's in there.
Yeah, no, I haven't signed it, but is this the last permit?
Yeah.
Oh. This is holding on to all the permits.
Like a pulley system or something.
So you're just waiting for them
This is new, so that.
Nope, I think last week we did the RP for the siding, and I got some scope of works I'm working on for doors and a few other items, which I will bring to you at a later date.
Good deal, appreciate it.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. We had an accident. Oh, damage. Oh, wait a minute. Sure, do I have a motion for the minutes? We did have,
What day, last week?
Yep, we did have a change. It's a Tesla. Autocorrect, doesn't like it, I guess. Then draft minutes.
Yeah, but the watermark.
The watermark was brought. Other than that, what are you guys' thoughts? You guys okay with the minutes?
Yep.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion for non-public?
Motion?
Is there a second?
Have a vote.
All in favor?
Right.
Aye.
They're first, they had the same first name, but they're not related. Steve, yeah, Steve.
Wayne, why don't you come up?
Do they help?
Boy.
I hope everybody noticed in the mail that Wayne finally used his computer to do
I
it.
saw that.
Yes.
I was actually gonna comment on that.
Oh.
This is the first time.
You'll get.
It's almost a year later.
See, there's hope.
Slow but steady wins.
You've had that computer since March last year.
You've got it down now.
We were actually just thinking that the handwritten one was your typed version.
Oh, that's where I'd rather have it, but we'll get it done.
I was really excited because I can actually read it.
No problem.
So, well, psyched, thank you. All right, what do we got going on? You got this proposal for the new truck?
Yeah.
Did you get two? Because I think Andy want to get two proposals. Did you get one or two?
I went down there every once in a while with my cousin.
Oh, we got, I did have two, but we talked about the
one that
reason
you're
why. We went through the specs of the truck here 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so this is the total complete cost.
This is total, but you wanted me to get the price of the radio? The
Okay.
two-way radio in there?
Yep.
Okay, the total for the truck was $175,254. With the radio, it's at $1,296, which comes to $176,550.
550?
550.
And this is everything.
This is everything.
Complete.
Everything.
Once you get it, you're good to
This is
go.
it. This is it. This is how the order's gonna go in. You guys are.
And you have enough in the budget for that, right? In the capital reserve, we have plenty. What do we have, 180?
One hundred eighty something.
180, yeah. I
Good
think
enough
it
to
was
get-
180.
Yeah. There's enough to get the truck going.
No. Do we have a motion for it?
Motion for a truck.
Is there a second?
Second.
I wanna haggle with them over the price.
Wanna have it?
You don't wanna haggle with them over the price?
Oh, no.
I would, but that's me.
No.
You think you can get up to that?
If you don't
I
ask, you
think
don't
we
get.
can. This is state bid.
Oh, it's a state bid thing?
Yes.
So you're trying to- that's what
You gonna buy for the old truck already?
What's that?
You gonna buy for the old truck?
I don't think it'll be long. I think Scotty's got his eye on that. He'll see me.
I'll just email him.
All right, so we have a motion and we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Good to go.
Okay, thank you.
Do you need us to sign this or no?
No, you guys do.
Right here?
I don't know if
Approved
it's
by
just one
seller,
of you.
approved by purchaser.
Are they gonna build this or you gotta get it together? You don't have it all ready to go?
No, we gotta call them, they gotta put it together, they gotta make it, put it together without.
We get it before winter's over, probably not, though, right?
What's that?
Probably get it in the spring now. You won't get it before.
I don't know how many weeks it will take them to get it.
So I'm signing this too.
If the town defaults, you gotta pay for
This
it.
one doesn't have signatures.
He's already got buckets of salt he's collecting on the road. So he got it in his driveway.
Put some over there.
And then,
Yeah.
Can I have a photocopy of the last that you got tomorrow?
there was a request. Where is it?
It was in the mail, it was like the bottom of the mail, there's pictures too.
Yeah.
There's a whole packet,
Yeah, yeah.
That packet that we had.
the whole packet. It was there, it had pictures in it.
Did I move it?
You
I did.
You found the Steve?
I knew I wanted to talk about it. It was requested about the, is it Bartlett? Or Bartlett Road, the potholes,
Yep.
that they wanted to put that, they want it to be looked at, to be put on the roads for repair. What's the status of that road? I did drive it the other day, because I
That
didn't get a call.
section, the way the potholes were, I got a price this summer to do that, and it was $10,000. Just go from the road to the top of the hill. So,
How,
that's just $10,000.
how
They're gonna
bad is
change
that?
paper
And
in
that's
that?
gonna reclaim it, reclaim.
How about reculverting? Wasn't there a problem with the culverts plugged up or something? Or you guys did that?
There's no culverts,
Okay.
actually, there's no culvert, the water runs off and it's supposed to go
Go
out
there.
that pond
Yeah.
there, down in front. It does work sometimes, and,
Do we have the money to
some
take care of that
stuff built
road,
up
or
and
no?
Doesn't work, it's not really,
Do we have the money to take care of that road this year? or-
well, I'm hoping to. I have one company, I was gonna put that, make that down.
So from Middle Road.
Cause that road, I was down there today, I ran out of, coal patch. Then I go, so it warms up a little bit, we go up to the pike and get the coal patch. I run up, and I put gravel down there today, cause some of them potholes will get deep.
Okay.
Mill Road's was getting deep too.
Yep, what's
So
that?
the
Mill Road was getting deep too.
Yeah, I got that too.
Yeah, I saw that.
I used
So
gravel,
you're-
if you see that, I did use gravel today, cause I packed it down. So anything that you put in them right now is
It's gonna
gonna
run away.
Yeah.
So it goes from Middle Road to the, what's that crossroad up there? Is that
What?
No, Dudley, you're not going up to Dudley.
Are you going up to Dudley or no?
Dudley, the worst road is Bot, go right up to,
No, so you're going from Middle Road on Bartlett up to Dudley?
I'm hoping I have enough money to go all the way to the end right to Dudley.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
That's what I'm hoping for.
okay.
So it's on your radar, it's just a
Yep.
matter of seeing what we have left.
See what money we have left.
Because I think we have to address, yeah, Rowell Road
And,
West, you have to address too, right?
Railroad West, I gotta do.
How's that? I saw the signs were down.
What's that?
I saw the
Oh,
signs were down.
we pulled them down because we plow down there because of the fire hydrant.
Okay,
And actually, we plow all the way right down to where the scene is.
Okay.
Like we go past the fire hydrant.
Oh, okay.
While we do that, I'm coming, you get a fire down there, we can do something, we get a fire truck down there and pass the hose to the other side and they can continue going if we have to from the hydrant, so
Okay.
it's not that far.
Good deal. All right, that was on the radar to you.
Get that mailbox thing looked at it. I look at that, people.
Yeah, I went up there,
Looks
he
all
wants a
right.
new mailbox,
But you said it was 15, right? The granite pole's still there.
Yeah, everything's there.
And the arm is there, everything
Yeah,
looked good. What the?
It was a new mailbox, but the plow hit the front of the mailbox.
Oh, it just caught the front of it. I didn't look like it was all,
Yeah.
I took it right up this
It's
morning. I
there.
didn't,
He's requesting for a new mailbox, but
I didn't see it was
can't
that bad of a
make that.
shake where, there was worse ones on the street than that one.
Is it within the,
Yeah.
so is it
Yeah.
back far enough?
It's back, I think it's back far enough. They're basically all in line down there.
Yeah,
If he's out of line, the rest of them are, because it's the whole
15
length.
PB.
And, but the road was paved, when it was paved, the mailbox is sit back right to the ditch line. But when they paved it, they went in. So I think he's within the distance of the
So he just barely ticked it then. I mean,
yeah, he just
I looked at it.
just barely got the front of it. And it broke the whole corner of the mailbox. You know, he just put it up, it's a brand new one. And now he's
But the granite post looks, he didn't break, that's still
They
there.
didn't have that. No. I can go back, but the mail, I went by there today, the mailbox is still sitting there. I can screw it, the mailbox that he's got, and just screw it on there. There's only two little screws that go up to the bottom of the rack thing that holds it. But he's requesting for a new one, so I don't know, it's up to you guys. I did tell him that we don't go out buy mailboxes. We don't usually do it.
How much is a mailbox?
I don't know how much this one will be. If he gets the same kind, this one's kind of a heavy one, and he got it down to, down in Plastow, down in, what do you call it, place down in the depot?
Landscaper depot?
Landscaping depot, he bought it there.
Well, you probably bought the granite post.
Yeah, yeah. this-
Landscapers Depot.
I mean, what's the, typically we don't pay for those, do we?
No.
I
already told him that we don't usually buy mailboxes when we take them on.
There's no mallet on
Unless
the
there was,
highway.
unless there was an accident where
Yeah.
I know last year, I think we paid for a post, but we slid into
Yeah,
we slid into the
Slid into the
post, so
post.
we took
Yeah.
it out, so
Took
it's
it out.
actually an insurance claim,
Yeah.
basically.
yeah.
I mean, what are your guys' thoughts?
I guess,
Well, I'll just tell you this, I replaced 5 mailboxes in my house. I didn't get any money from the town, I just went out and bought a new one when they got taken out. The one I've got now, I've had for a couple of years, they haven't taken it out, I think Wayne's on my road now, so I think that's.
I'm on my third, so,
no, I
but I buy the cheapy ones, and when they get hit, they get.
That's it, so, I think it's a hazard of living here, that's my perspective, that's my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's,
Or we can just
is there anything?
go with the
If you set a precedent,
yeah, we don't wanna do that.
you don't wanna do that,
No,
because then you have to do it for everybody.
that's right.
Yeah, so,
I would say
you said
no.
the state has no liabilities, just like we do, so we have the same.
As you said, I bought 5 of them from.
Okay, well, that takes care of that.
All right.
Unfortunately, no,
I'll
we
take
can't
care of it tomorrow.
address it.
I'll take care of it tomorrow, no problem.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
And before you go, somebody deposited a beautiful TV stand down at Dudley Dip. Has that been picked up yet? You
Oh,
know?
yes.
Is that being used in your office
That went
now?
into the metal, that
Oh,
went into the metal pile.
Looked like it was in good shape.
Yeah, it was.
Right after I got hit by the plow.
No?
It was next to the
No, they
mailbox.
they left it there, and it was all metal, actually.
Yeah, okay. I didn't go down there today.
It's
so I
down
didn't
in the
see.
metal bin right now.
Somebody just dropped it on the corner?
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
it looked like a nice one.
They've been leaving couches too.
Oh,
They get a few of them
To
too.
the,
Oh, it's
the
not
different
cheap.
match beside the road.
Where are they leaving? Just on the side of the
Side of the
road?
road.
Leave it there.
Whatever.
I bring them up, I put them beside the dumpster out there, and the boys take it from there. Bring it.
I think it was a burglary, so
2
you
or
know.
3 within this month,
Could
I
be.
think, maybe them beside the road.
Gotta love it.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
And CMS renewal.
Melissa Litchfield asked if the board wanted to put the link to the CMS renewal on the town's website for the warrant.
No,
No, that's a school.
I don't think you want to
The
get
school
into
put
that.
it on this.
Yeah, it's a school that's a school thing. So,
What did you just say?
that has to go for their voting. All right, what else we have?
Escape while you can.
Thanks, Wayne, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Wayne.
This is the gravel warrant form magazine.
Motion to sign it.
Do I have a second?
That's for, what is it for?
It's a gravel
The magazines,
warrant.
Then we have a 25.
the excavation.
It's like a 60-year-old thing, they do it every year, right?
Oh, okay,
It's $58
Yeah.
yeah. Second.
that he's gonna pay.
You have
All in favor?
you have a question from the public.
Is that the tax payment or is that a renewal permit for their excavation operation?
It's a tax
It's
payment.
a tax payment
Thank you.
for $58.
You did get a second, Bob.
You got a second?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Did Karen get
Anybody
the second?
opposed?
This is for.
We like tax payment.
We did.
It's only $15.
Right here?
Number 2.
It's money.
I thought you wanted the number two.
This is for Barry Phillips to put 5 acres of land in current use. He has, this is only for 5 acres, the abutting parcel that qualifies it is in Kingston. And that's already in current use, in Kingston. So South Road.
Okay, do I have a motion? Did he change this? Because he had 31.
Because the entire parcel is 31, but that is including the land that's already in Kingston. There's only 5 of it that's in Brentwood. 26 of it is in Kingston, that's already in.
I was just part of that new development.
No.
All right, do we have a motion?
What is it for?
To
Land in current use.
put it in current use?
Oh, okay.
Which?
5 acres?
Where is it?
Barry Phillips on South Road.
I know where that is.
Yeah, yeah, I'll make
I
one.
got the whole plan.
That's just the bottom of
Looks like there was 31 total, but we only have 5 on our, in Brentwood.
The Kingston parcel's already in the current use?
Yeah.
We got 10 acres control. Okay,
So, yeah, so now you're gonna put 5 more into current use. Do I have a motion in a second?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is to put 1.75 acres of land in current use on 61 Scrabble, that's Hamilton's property. It's wetland, so it doesn't have to meet the 10-acre minimum,
Okay.
and that is recommended by Jim to approve.
Okay, do I have a motion for this?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Did Jim recommend that? Does he have
Yes.
recommendation?
This is to reappoint Kristen Patch as deputy town clerk tax collector for 1 year.
Do we have a motion to reappoint Kristen Pax as deputy town clerk for 1 year?
Motion.
Is that always a yearly thing? You don't do the 3 like the town clerk? It's always,
I thought it just ran with the town clerk.
then I thought it was, don't they run?
I didn't.
I asked Daphne what she wanted, she said she wanted it for 1 year.
I just thought we always did
Okay,
whatever.
but it always ran with the.
So I have a motion?
That's what we do.
And a second?
Yep. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anybody abstained? Didn't hear anything.
Oh,
No.
Yay?
Yay.
Okay.
huh?
The septic alarm at the BRC keeps going off, and it looks like we need to replace the alarm floats, replace the alarm itself, and then the labor, and have the tank pumped again. So it's-
When's the last time it was pumped?
It was pumped in April of 2018, so it hasn't been that long.
It should be good for a couple of years.
It should be, but in order for them to access the floats, they had to pump it. So it was $295 for the pump, and then it's $650 for,
Replace the
to
floats.
replace all the floats. So I'd like authorization to take this out of capital reserve for building maintenance.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to do that.
In a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was already touched.
And
That's a quick one.
More coming back.
That's all.
More coming back?
It's at 3.
Good deal. Anything else on this? Anything from the public?
Oh, oh.
Sure, go ahead.
Can I make a motion that, all the department heads can do their own webpage so we can keep them up to date? I talked to Karen and asked her if it was okay to do that.
Yeah, do we have access?
It would take it away from her, she'll give them a password.
So we'd have to set up and make sure everyone can have their own specific password, but I mean, police, fire, rec already maintain their own pages, so it's just, and town clerk does the same, so it's just a matter of getting the entry in cemetery.
Those are the only other departments that we're waiting for? I don't have a problem with
Yeah, that's a good
that. Do
idea.
you have a motion for that?
You made a motion.
I make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Perfect, it's easy. And then somebody raise their hand.
Well, just a time management question. After, viewing the White House News Network here and watching the minutes or the meetings and seeing how much time
I like
it takes.
that WNN.
Yeah, with the, it's apparent we have, quite a number of town employees now. Now, like any small business, wouldn't you guys at some point consider bi-weekly payroll checks? It seems like a cut in half the amount of time that it takes.
I would love to do that.
I mean,
and
every
think we
small
brought
business
that up.
does it.
I think
we brought that up
survey
before.
and people didn't want it.
And, yeah, I mean, Ken, you were here then.
That's right.
We
It
did
was
it.
my suggestion.
Yeah.
And the
And it got
employees
shut
didn't
down,
want it.
didn't it?
But I
No,
mean,
Jeff was the only
Just say-
focal point.
you guys are the managers. Every small business, like the one I'm involved in, we have 25
It
employees.
saves on checks.
Well, it's crazy, and you guys are the management. I mean, the only thing is, it does take a little extra time. I think what we did at work was on people who were salaried or had, roughly the same amount of hours per week, you give them a little jump ahead the first week, but once you get on the horse there and start riding, it seems like you could save an incredible amount of hours in the office, and then people are gonna be more interested once you start filming the minutes, and I mean, this procedure works fine. Once you go to a public viewing station, if you guys could concentrate on the real, dialogue that needs to take place here at Selectmen's meeting, and you really can't hear people thumbing through. I mean, you read them off, and it's good for transparency. But it seems like as a board, you guys gotta take the bull by the horns and say, look, this is just a basic management decision that every small business is doing today. You're a small business, the town's a small business, and why spend all those extra hours every week when you could just cut them in half?
I guess we should probably ask the employees what they want.
They will all say no.
So why isn't an employee,
Employees will all say
it's
no.
a
They don't
management
wanna
thing
have
from the
budget
Board of
money.
Selectmen? Why is the employee?
You've gotta make the call if that's.
The inmates are in the asylum, I guess, right?
Well, it seems like that's what's happening here.
Yeah, I guess I would wanna know
I
what.
would wanna know what John feels about that.
Make him less work, right? You don't have
I
twice
probably would, but let's make sure we get everybody buying in, and if we make that decision, I mean, the employees may be not comfortable with it at first, but
It's traditional, nobody likes change.
but it's the same amount of money. It's not
Exactly.
gonna
No matter what
change
department
anything,
you're
it's
in.
gonna
We
be,
just have to manage the money.
well, there's gonna be a transition for the employees
I think
getting
that
paid
was
not
the
every week, but
suggestion.
every other week, and they're just gonna have to get used to that.
Right, it's just 1 week, really, it's just one
Yeah.
paycheck.
Well, I mean, they could also, like Karen had mentioned, there's timekeeper systems and stuff that you can get too, which would save on time and everything else too.
It
There's a
just
bunch of
seems,
stuff like
it
that.
seems nutty.
Yeah, it does seem. So I think the only thing is check with John and make sure he's okay with it and just make a decision. Done.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
think
well,
we should ask the employees.
Phyllis, you just missed the point. It's not the employees, he's talking about the management decision.
It's just crazy. I mean, once people get used, just get their first paycheck, they're off and running, and there's.
I only get paid on the 15th and the first.
It's insanity. You guys spend a half hour every week doing
Let
that.
everybody know that we're probably going in that direction in the near future and get them kind of used to that fact that we're gonna probably go from 1 week to 2 weeks.
Pick a time, July 1st.
Yeah, all right, that makes sense.
Well,
Yeah,
July, I don't want July 1st.
The 4th.
Independence Day, no, how about April 1st?
Well, it would have been July 1st, however,
No,
they didn't get
that's-
the document.
It would probably be July, when everyone's, when we're on every other week, we're on every other week, they can do it the other week.
Yeah, so just let them know and we'll pick a time. Let them know.
Something to consider.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I know Ken's mentioned it before, but it just seems kind of nutty to the average person, resident of town, watching the meetings, that we're not spending the time discussing things that we really could, the people interested.
Well, that's why we have 2-3 hour meetings.
Yeah.
Just for you.
Yeah, I have a question, and it was brought to my attention, and I'm just, I don't know, concerned, or you guys can just inform me, is the sheriff's department and state police covering this town at night right now?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Not that you're aware of?
No. I talked to the chief yesterday, I'm not aware of them covering right now. We have, I know George worked last night,
Okay.
we just paid, what was it, 13 hours?
That's out there, that the sheriff's department and the state police are covering.
Well, there's a
the
lot
town.
of stuff that's out there, including stuff
Well, that's
on
all right, as
Facebook that I
a
got.
citizen, I wanna know, I mean,
Yeah.
we're proposing a $920,000 budget, and
Yeah.
if we get somebody else covering our business,
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
Not at this time, as far as I'm aware, no, we're not.
Okay.
And I know we just approved more overtime. I was here for the meeting yesterday on the building expansion for the new police department, committee for that. It went good. We had, Rob Healy came in, he owns that parcel, that got cleared across the street from the fire department, that
Steve
one.
Hamilton's old house.
Oh, the big one?
Yeah.
The one
so-
next to that hospital.
Yeah, so he was in talking to us about that, which I thought was really interesting. He's gonna put together proposals for potential land lease or selling it to the town. He's gonna put together a bunch of different things. He also had,
That would be the ideal
he
place.
had Jones and
Jones
Jonah
Beach.
Beach
Yeah, Jones Beach Engineers.
Engineering.
Yeah.
Did something for a site plan for that area for a commercial building.
Yeah, he was gonna put a commercial building there.
I guess Dunkin' Donuts has looked at it. There's been a few other places that have looked at it.
Because there's no on and off to 125.
Right.
But there is.
But there
if
is
you look
over-
at the,
right.
well, if you look at the vet
They wanted
hospital,
the exit to be right at the lights, that's what they wanted.
well.
So that
We,
would-
I don't think we would need that if that was a police
I told them
department.
to go see Bruce.
Because they can come out the same way as the fire department.
And there is
They
an
can
access.
control the light like the fire department.
Well, there is
does.
an access over to, what's that, the Brentwood Animal
Yeah, you can
Hospital?
get, there's yeah.
That's actually an
I
access.
suggested to him when he first was gonna develop that land, why don't you go talk to them and see if you can
Well,
borrow
the
their.
weird part is we actually had the plot.
Yeah.
There's, so you have that corner, right? Here's the
Yeah.
lights over here. Brentwood Animal Hospital, this is their property. They have this little sliver.
Oh, so they got it all the way down?
That runs
Almost all the way down.
almost all the way right down. And I guess it was originally designed that way when something got divided up at some point, so they put a sign up.
It's called the highway, when the highway went
Oh.
through.
No, he was explaining to us when the engineers looked at it, there was a section of land that's put up and it was primarily designed to put a sign there. So that's why it has this little
Like a little sliver of land.
Literally.
Yeah, I still think it's when the highway went through, the way those parcels were laid out, that sliver of land existed because of the way the highway went through.
And then they expanded it and put it there.
No, that was the
Looks like
existing
it's a-
parcel and the highway went through and that land belonged to that parcel.
But it's all a drainage right now, right?
Yeah.
The whole thing's all drainage.
That's probably wetland, you probably can't build on it anyway.
So I think it's, he was gonna put together a bunch of proposals to bring back.
Oh, that would be a great idea.
And I think we have another call coming up with Norwich University. Where we're gonna do a conference call, the next call with them, they're gonna call in. And that way we can have a conference call with them, just to get their feelings for what they're looking for, what they're gonna give us for a proposal. But we were here last night, till a little after 10. That meeting, so it was 3 hours in our meeting.
Wow. I didn't see the note from you.
Oh, yeah, I sent it.
He sent it.
No, I know you did.
I told you guys were having it.
Bob, what are the setbacks there? Is setbacks gonna be a problem for that lot?
That was one of the things that he was gonna reach out to, the owner was gonna reach out to KIP, because I know the municipalities are, we still have to abide by, I think, the state setbacks, and Bruce probably can
Well,
elaborate more on
the
that.
state right of way, all the state is concerned with is with their right of way, which has been delineated there, so.
So then, he really needs to touch base with KIP, because I don't know what the municipalities.
Well, we
are
have a
subject to.
setback, I think it's 150 feet, but I mean, the municipality is exempt from their own
Yeah.
requirements. I mean, just a general question, that I know you're talking about the university exploring different options. Obviously, we have that solar array over at the firehouse there.
Yeah.
But if you compare the cost of removing that and putting it somewhere else, or just buying it out and forgetting about
Well,
it.
there is there's 3 different sites that they're looking at. This just happened to be another proposal.
Oh, yeah.
We're looking at everything. There is one down Middle Road, further down, there's a stretch of land, but we'd have to have a 400-yard
Driveway and a site.
and that's way down there. It's closer to Fremont.
The location out there is great.
And then the other spot is where they put that new tower we just put up behind the fire station. Put the police station up there.
The town owns that part.
Because we own all that, all the way over to every day is a Sunday, whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah, compared to the cost of going and acquiring another parcel, and then the site development,
Right.
would be equal to the cost of.
Well, that's
owning
where we
the
need
land.
to know from them of how much site development, like that site up there, depends on, can they put it where the tower is? Or do they have to go further back? If we go further back, there's a lot of ledge back there. How do we address that? How much is it gonna cost?
So what if you clear cut that and move this, what I call the stupid solar light right back up there, and why not use the land down next to the.
We're making money out of solar.
Yeah.
But I mean, compared to the cost of what it would cost to develop another parcel,
Yeah.
that's all wide open, ready to go.
Well, that's the other thing too, is, then there's another site on Scrabble Road that they're looking at, so
There's
there's
also-
3 of those that
But
they're
think of the
looking at.
cost of the site development alone before you start to build a building.
What about the site down at, across from Mitchell Animal Hospital? That's on 125 too. Right across from the car dealer on the corner of South Road on this side.
Same problem.
Yeah,
Is
the
it?
same
Entrance
issue
or
with
exit
that.
from 125.
That's got a, yeah, it's a different.
And there's no light there, so it would make it.
One of the
would be
things
more
that they were looking
problematic.
at, and the state won't give us, we can't get any more permits, or they won't put any more lights in Brentwood. Because I would have loved to have had one on South Road, one on Middle Road, one on North Road.
Well, eventually that will happen, but it's not warranted by the standards.
They're so far out, I mean, look at, North Road and Prescott Road, that was 2035.
And there's just not enough accidents there at South Road 125 to warrant it, that's the.
Well, we could fix that. Just not stop and.
Bill's gonna not stop as he
Pour it
drives
out.
through these things.
I'll get an old junker. I just pour it out every day.
When
We're
is
gonna have
that,
open selectman position soon.
when is that committee meeting again?
2 weeks. I think it's the 13th, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
where's that notice? I wanted to go to the meeting last night, but I looked at the town website, I couldn't find anything. I looked under the police department.
Yeah, Christine posted it, so I'd have to, I know it was a publicly posted meeting.
But, or so maybe posted here on
Maybe
the
it was on
bulletin
the
board.
police department, or it might have been up here.
I looked at the website.
Because I got the email on it, and then I forwarded it to everyone
Yeah.
here.
It wasn't on the town website, or it wasn't on the police department website.
Yeah,
So,
I know,
is it on Monday night, or generally?
it typically is on a Monday night, but then it's, you know, when do we need to meet? And we had the engineer was coming, Rob Healy wanted to come. David was supposed to be there, David Roy, but he couldn't make it.
So how would we know, how would the citizen know about the next meeting? How would we learn of the next meeting?
The public postings that they do, and I'd have to look to see where she publicly posted it, but usually they have to post it in, 3 locations here, 2? So here, the library, their website. So as long as they post it 2 different locations, that's what they would do. And then I forward it out to everyone else.
Right, because you're the selectman's rep to that committee, correct?
Correct, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So how did you find out where the meeting was?
Because I got an email. They actually had it listed as a Sanborn room, but I showed up and this whole building was black, so we had it. So.
Who is, if I can ask, who's chairing that committee so we can poke them to make sure it does get posted?
I think David is the one that typically does all that, but he wasn't here for it, so the chief was here. Eric Kelly, I think Eric Kelly was there, I was there, and then Rob Healy was there. So, but it was pretty interesting to get all the different, you know, what's he looking for? I know he's still gonna be marketing it, but it was interesting to have somebody else come before us to give us another thought.
Since you're discussing the topic, and I'm just curious because we've got the town building and the school right next to each other, has this area been looked at all, or?
They looked at pretty much all viable sites that they could build on. They gave all that over to Keene University and Norwich University. And then what they did is we did site walks. So they actually came and did site walks. And then where they deemed that they would have to do the least amount of land prep is what they're gonna start looking at, and then it's part of their capstone projects for the senior classes. So it doesn't cost the town anything for them to do that project for us. And then what they'll do is they'll draw up preliminary sketches, designs, and then try to put a budgetary number to it. And of course, it's just going to be kind of this is what we think it's going to cost, and then you would have to, at that point, we would have to make a decision: do we put it out for a bid and then start kind of getting somebody to design it? Because there's certain things that are going to be required for the police department, like evidence room, the cells. There's certain different construction that they have to have. CMU for this versus, do you put up a steel building? I know with the fire station we had the good, the bad, the ugly. We'll probably get the same proposals, but I know with the police station with the cells and stuff, you're going to be required to do certain things. Which is one of the things that they were looking at, that hill behind the fire station, because they could kind of put kind of like dig into the land, and then have the cells abut the land. So if somebody tries to break out, they basically have ground.
Bunker mentality.
They're basically stuck in a bunker. There's nowhere to go.
They couldn't tunnel out like El Chapo did.
Exactly. If they go down, it's going to be rock. If they go out, they're going to be having every day beside it. So that was interesting. So, anything else? Go ahead.
Just a quick question as a follow-up from 2 weeks ago. It was mentioned about Sergeant Wicks patrolling on his own, and some discussion about whether that was approved by police standards and training, and if the town was liable if he did prior. I just wondered if anything further has been found out on that.
Yeah, I did. Memo. Just gotta find it. Spoke with Major Dave. Massacre assessment. Parento.
Yeah.
New Hampshire Police and Standards Training. He advised that the council met this morning and approved Dan Wicks for New Hampshire certification upon completion of the physical fitness test and law package. He did not mention it needing to be completed within 6 months, but that's been my experience, and I believe it is true. A letter will be sent out to Dan Wicks and to the police department indicating the decision. Yeah, the rest of it is. So that's pretty much, that's where they're at right now. We're waiting for a letter from them.
So
that's dated as of yesterday. Yep.
Okay.
That was as of yesterday. So now we gotta wait for a letter from the Major Dave Parento of the New Hampshire Police Standards and Training.
Okay.
He's been approved.
Is that something that you guys can just put in as part of your meeting when that does happen? Just because there was a lot of questions surrounding it, and when it became a liability question for the town, it, just in case I can't show up every week, it would be nice to watch Butch's video and see that question is.
Yeah, and I think, like, for me, I read the memo, but if I don't have the letter in my hand, so I know that they're sending us a letter, I want the letter. Once I get the letter, then I'll say, great, it's approved. But until then, to me, it's kind of like
up in the air still.
It's not locked until I,
appreciate
it's
that.
kind of like you doing a mortgage, right, or a car loan.
Right.
Until I sign the paperwork and the bank says, yeah, you can take it, you're not going to be eager to go move in or.
No, I mean, and that's why I just. So you're saying the email that we have is not a complete answer yet, and we're waiting on a complete answer.
Yeah, I mean, basically it says a letter will be sent out, but until I see that letter, he just said it yesterday, that's what she got yesterday, so until I see it, I want to be comfortable with releasing it yet.
All right, so can we assume that he will not be working by himself in the town of Brentwood until you guys?
My understanding is he's still in training process, so yeah, I mean, until we get the letter, he wouldn't be doing it by himself anyway.
Okay.
We need the letter anyway. We asked for that. That was one of the requirements that we asked for.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
I don't know if they're emailing it, FedExing it, snail mailing it. I have no clue.
Okay, thanks.
Snail mail?
The state.
It is a state. Snail
Yeah,
mail.
I'm sure it's regular.
We'll see it in 2 weeks.
It's the most expensive way to do it.
Anything else? Divide and conquer.
Did you have a chance to bring this up yet?
Yeah.
But if you want to elaborate. Oh, what did you decide?
Yeah, we already decided it should be on the school site, but not ours. So it was already discussed. Sorry.
Can I?
Yep, you can talk about it.
So, I just wanted to share a couple things about it. We do have a firm.
You can sit. Go ahead.
Love the camera.
You don't love the camera?
I love the camera.
You gotta bring that up to Butch. It's the Butch White House, or the White House News Network, is that what you call it? WNN, it's WNN.
I don't think I can look at Butch the same ever because I met you for the first time at Candidates Night and immediately one of your sisters said Butchie and I'm like, oh, Butchie.
Was it Christine?
Just a point of order, only my mom can call me Butchie.
It was, I think it was a sister.
Your sister?
We'll give her a pass, but
The other sister, there's another sister. Yeah.
I don't want that to catch on with anyone.
What other sister was there? I only know Christine.
Robin was there.
Robin? Oh.
So anyway, in light of all of what had happened, there's a lot of controversy back when we were trying to pass Newmarket, and there were questions about electioneering. So in light of that, we have a firm that's been working with us to make sure that none of that will happen whatsoever. It's just that the facts are out there. So we have a website. Our website has been vetted through them, our Facebook page, any types of announcements that we put out there. We just want to make sure that people have the correct information. As you can see, even on our handouts, we didn't even put what day to vote because we're trying to be very careful about it.
Well, each town is different, right?
No, same day.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Oh, it's all on the ballot.
Tuesday. As I said, and then obviously it shows Brentwood as being the highest.
$183.
Yeah, they're trying to be completely transparent, and that would be on a $400,000 home. And then I also wanted to point out too, I know at the deliberative session that there was a question that was kind of thrown out there, and the VA was kind of caught off guard, I think, and he threw out the cost, maybe 40 million or something total cost. I forget now, but it's 25 million. So it's 17.8 million for the reno, but once all is said and done after 20 years, it would equal 25 million with interest. If we had had a shorter bond, the interest would have been even less. But anyway, so we're just trying to find every way
But
we can.
it's not even the 17.8 million because of the deliberative session, they had 400 and some odd thousand on top of it.
And what's the,
For the interest for the first year.
That's based on what rate for the payback? What's the bond rate? We don't know that yet either, right?
Okay, well, we don't know because we haven't filled out the paperwork yet, but the bottom line is that we've tried to be conservative. So we're looking at 4% for the bond rate at this point in time. Yes, the 400,000 would be the first year interest, so that would be part of that 25 million.
All right, but that's not, so the
You know what I'm saying?
17.8 million, according to the way it's gonna be worded on the ballot, is 17.8 million plus the additional 400 and some odd $1,000, which I think was like 480 if I remember correctly?
442.
442?
Yeah.
So if you put 17.8 plus the 442, now I'm over 18.
Well, I tell you what,
I'm at 18.2, so.
I'll make sure that's on the website if you
'Cause
want
that
me
needs
to
to
put my
be-
link on the Brentwood.
No.
Well, here's the bottom line.
I'm putting it on the WNN.
Thank you. Thank you.
Brentwood News Network.
Brentwood News
No,
Network.
it's, I'm giving him credit.
Butchie News.
I'm not calling it Butchie's News. Now he's cringing.
Getting redder and redder
I'm
every
sorry,
minute.
but
We just put this so they can see it on TV, how's that?
Joey just like hold it up for the camera. So no, so the reality is that just that however people vote is how, I just want people to show up to vote. I respect them no matter how they vote. I understand.
I'm hoping we have a lot of people that show up.
Me too.
But the bottom line is that over the past couple of years or 3 years when we voted, there are a lot of people that they didn't have all of the facts, and that's a concern. We just want people to be informed. We don't want to try to sway them in any way. We just want them to be informed.
So what you said about the marketing firm is not, they're not marketing this package, they're just making sure that the facts are up there.
Exactly.
But then,
For $10,000.
I don't have a number.
but I look,
12,000.
I don't have a number.
I just look at this as what's the cost, and the cost of $17.8 million is actually
Less.
errored.
Yeah.
Because they have 400 some odd $1,000 additional, that's, the way they worded the warrant article, it says 17.8 plus an additional 400
It
some
should
odd
tell us
$1,000.
the total
which is
cost
interest.
of the cost over
I
time.
wanna know what the total cost is, so it's actually 18.2 million.
Well, actually, it's not though, it's actually more like 20,
Yes.
25 million.
So that would be out of here, so 17.8
No.
is the gross
It
appropriation.
says on the thing additional.
Well, not
For the
as sure
first year.
of what the rate is on the
probably that's-
renewal.
That's how they wrote it.
Probably wasn't best in wording it that way.
They worded it that way, and so if anything, and from what I'm hearing from people that are asking me about it, and I said, yeah, it's actually 18.2 million.
Was it definitely worded that way?
Yeah, if you look at how it's worded, if you go down and get an absentee ballot, it's gonna be on there.
I don't think that that was the intent.
Because I know that was one of the, that was one of
Probably
the.
the easier way to present it is to say that everybody in Brentwood's gonna pay $180 a year for 20 years.
Well, they're not though, because, so, anyway,
Okay.
the bottom line is, I
Property
came
values are
up
not
here
gonna go down.
to ask if we could have it on the link, but I understand that there are some people in the room that may not be in favor of it, and I respect that. But it's not 180 for everybody. It's not the 17.8 plus the 400,000.
It's 200 for some.
Yeah,
It is.
for some.
You're right, it is.
Yeah.
And I would-
And I have to say, and this is not against you, but calling the office and trying to get this information, I'm a little peeved tonight because I was not aware that that 400,000, that interest-only payment was on top of the 17.8.
Yeah, it says an additional on this.
So when I put out the Brentwood newsletter now, I have 17.8 information. I don't have the correct information going out to the public now. And having called the
It is
finance office
17.8 million.
and yes, but in addition, there's also this
It's not, it
400,000.
shouldn't be, it shouldn't be written that way.
I couldn't get an answer from the office on what the total was calculated out, amortized over 20 years. I
Yeah.
couldn't get that number.
That's what the number you should put on.
So I had
That
to
would be a
do-
benefit of having it on the website.
I did it. It's in the newsletter. It's almost $26
When
million.
you call the office, you get a different number every time you talk.
Assuming that it's at 4%.
There's roughly $25 million over the
So
course
you're-
of the loan.
Right, but let me ask you this, when you go to get a mortgage,
I'm
when
just gonna
you go
grab
to
it.
buy a
I'll grab an
car,
absentee
they
ballot.
don't put on the sticker of the car, this car is $43,000 plus, that 5-year loan that they're selling with interest. They don't put that out for you. They put out what the cost of the car is going to be.
But for the taxpayer, knowing what they were committing to, wouldn't it be wise to know the total cost of the project and over the period of?
It's gonna depend on the interest rate too.
But I
It's a
mean,
variable.
you could just say approximately, I mean, we know approximately what it would be, right?
I don't think we can put approximately on a ballot though.
Oh, no, you wouldn't be voting that number, but just for the edification of the citizenry on the website, the people ought to know what it costs, what they're buying into, right?
Yeah, it'll be almost 90.
All right. Let's settle this argument.
Then we should probably do this.
All right, Marie, shall the
Discussion,
district,
not an argument, discussion.
debate.
Just a fact.
Shall the district raise and appropriate the sum of $17.8 million for the purpose of renovations and additions to the cooperative middle school in order to accommodate for changes in the programs and expanding needs of school? $17.8 million of such sum to be raised through issuance of bonds or notes under the compliance within the Municipal Finance Act, RSA, blah, 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 as amended. To authorize the school board to apply for, obtain, and accept federal, state, and other aid, if any, which may be available to said project, and to comply with all laws applicable to said project. To authorize the school board to issue, negotiate, sell, and deliver said bonds and notes and determine the rate of interest thereon and maturity and other terms thereof, and to authorize the school board to take other actions or pass any other vote relative thereto. And further, raise and appropriate an additional $425,222 to meet the necessary financial obligations associated with the project's debt services for the 2019-2020 fiscal year. That's the interest payment for the first year.
Well, there's no question on the ballot, that's exactly how it's gotta be worded legally. But if you're talking about educating the people in town through the website, why not tell them the total cost of the project over?
So the total cost of this project is 17.8 plus the 425,222.
Plus all of the interest payments for.
Plus all the interest.
Disappointing because so I do think that that's a error to our benefit, but the reality is that they had put out there 400,000 for the first year, and they had put out the numbers, and then we had received so much pushback and flack about it, actually from people within this town, that they were very cautious, do you know what I'm saying, with what they were saying, and I wonder if that's how they ended up with.
But unfortunately, by doing that, they ended up saying, hey, we're keeping it under 18 million, but they actually didn't, because it actually gets a little more deceptive, because now I have 17.8 plus an additional 425. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad
I
you
don't know what
pointed
the
it
intent
out.
was, but that's,
I'm glad you pointed out because
Yeah.
it's 18.2, so when I look at what's the cost, it's actually 18.2.
I just heard something, I just so I'm clear on it. So the school district hired a marketing firm to market this project?
Yep.
PR for.
PR firm.
$12,000.
No, okay, the school did, this is exactly why, by the way, the school does not have a Facebook page, I would like to point out, or we don't put other, because you know what I'm saying, it spirals out of control. But the bottom line is no, the school has someone that is already part of us. If we need to put out educational information on anything, they are our go-to. They have been a part of the school. It's been a while now, but we didn't hire them to market this, and we're not able to market this. It's not legal for us to market this. Others can market it for us, we cannot. So for example, these, we did not pay for these. Geskus, the photography company, they donated these to all 6 towns. We haven't, the school hasn't put a dime toward it.
So where's, I
Because
mean,
they
just,
wanted to pass.
I'm confused though, because it was said that there was a marketing firm, originally it was said that it was a marketing firm that was doing a sales pitch on this.
That was one person in the town of Brentwood that's put that out there. That is not
What was the
reflective
question
of the
again?
SAU.
I'm gonna ask
the
for
schools-
clarification from Robin, because she had a number of 12,000, so where did that come from?
Where did that come from? Where did that come from?
Where did that come from? That came from 2 citizens doing research and my phone call to
The business. Frank
Jennifer Blackwood's office. They couldn't give me any numbers, nobody knew anything.
So you did not get that number from the SAU office, correct?
No, they could not, they
Okay.
could not.
But the
verify
12,000
it.
did not come from the SAU office.
Can I just ask
But
to
let me
clarify
just-
this?
Paul, let me clarify that, because we did get an answer from the business office that they hired that firm for $12,000, and
That's all.
$2,000 was used for other purposes, and the $10,000 is gonna be used for the CMS.
Bill, I'm telling you, I know.
I'm telling you what they
Okay, but I'm
told
just-
us at the business office,
And I'm
okay?
just
Frank
telling you-
Markowitz told us that.
He told you that?
And Blackwood, Jennifer.
Told my wife that.
He
You
told
think
you,
my
okay,
wife
so
lied to me?
but you're speaking for your wife right now.
Why not?
I'm just saying that
She
for
don't
me,
lie to me.
I'm just telling you that right now, I am the rep for the school board,
I
okay,
understand
Ken
that.
Albanese. I am also appointed to the advisory committee, budget advisory committee for the Exeter Regional School District. And I'm also the chairman of the finance committee. And I'm telling you right now, that is not information that I have.
So what
Okay?
was PR Guilfoyle hired for? What were they hired for? Just to verify that your website was putting out this information and it
And to
wasn't?
make sure that we don't cross any lines that we shouldn't.
And how much money was
Correct.
spent to do that?
I'm not the VA and you're catching me off. That's not fair. I can tell you that's not the correct
But
number.
you're a representative and I can't get that number from the
It's
business
not
office.
Why did you come
$10,000.
to me in the first place though? I
It's
wouldn't
not
have got back to you
$10,000.
about that.
I don't know. I don't
It's
know who all the people are yet.
$10,000.
I don't know who the players are. I can't get any information from the SAU directly. I can't get any information from any of the schools.
But that surprises me because I show up all the time and they're like open door, literally. So we'll have to talk.
I'm gonna shoot over to Adam, because he
So-
raised his hand, so he's next.
So, they actually do meetings about the CMS project,
Yeah.
so maybe something we could post on our
This is
website
the
is when the
kind of
meeting
stuff that we
is,
need to put in
and
the
then anybody that has
Yeah.
questions
Yeah, we go to the
Get
meeting.
can go to the
rid of this.
meeting.
Yeah.
Because I've made my own decision. I made it last year because I went to the meetings. And I heard it right from the meetings and looked at the plans, and I was able to make my own informed decision versus whether it's 17.8, 18.2, because at the end of the day, I don't really care whether it's 17.8 or 18.2.
Oh, I do, it's my money. It's our money. It's all our money.
Well, I understand,
We all
no,
pay.
and
We all have to
I
care
get,
about
I
what we
get that,
spend.
but if you believe in the principles of the project, whether it's 17.8 isn't going to be a yes vote and 18.2 a no vote. Is
Well,
what I'm
that's kind of
saying.
like saying, do you pay $17,800 for a car, or do you pay $18,200 for a car? What would you
Depends on-
rather pay?
Depends on which one you like more.
What if it's the same car? We're paying $425,000 as interest only.
So
Yeah, but you're gonna pay interest on anything, bro. It's like saying, I wanna buy a house, but I don't wanna pay any interest.
But it's looking at the numbers right down, no, I want the numbers up front. If you're gonna tell me that it's a $17.8 million project, it's 17.8. If you're gonna say there's an additional 425 on top of it, it's not a $17.8 million project, it's an 8.3.
So on the transparency, I agree with you 100%.
To me, it's a spin of words, right?
Right.
So if you're gonna spin it to me, give me the actual number.
Give me the figure. And then what needs to happen is that people in town need to be informed, and if they want to be informed, the meetings for people that are for the project and against the project are just like this, very diplomatic. We all, get along, we have fun, and I made my decision.
I went to the deliberative session, there was what, 27 of us? 23. 23?
But on a positive note, I do want to say this, that for the renewal meetings, Adam, what was it? We met every other week, and there were 63 people, I want to say, on the distribution list. 30 to 40 of them were Brentwood residents. So they knew every step of the way from this summer. And you were on it too, weren't you, through now?
Yeah, I didn't know enough about it. So I don't broadcast what my position is on it, but it's, to me, the transparency in the numbers is a pivotal point, right? We have to be transparent on what the cost impact is. But at the same time, we can't, to me, it's cost versus what's the benefit. And if we just print cost and print cost and print cost and print cost, I went on a tour of the school. I won't say I voted. I don't think CMS is a bad school. And I'll leave it that very broad. I think it's fine as it is. But I went and I toured the school, right, to see for myself, because I have a child that's going there next year. So hits home for me. Like, I want to know, do they need this new pod, whatever a pod is, because I didn't even know. And I don't know, it can be informative. So I think maybe.
Yeah, the daughter there right now, I've toured it for the last 5 or 6 years.
Right, but it's important to know, like my son has basketball there, like the gym setup is terrible. I'll agree with that 100%, but it's not 18 million terrible. Right? And that's what you have to decide, and I had to make that decision for myself. But if the town posts when these things are, or that Bill Perkins is willing to give tours of the school, like this isn't a promotion for the project. Listen, the town needs to be informed, right? Whether you vote yes or no, because you're impacting something with a yes or a no.
Well, I think we have a link to the school's site somewhere, don't we?
I think there's a link to Swayze's site, but
yeah. It was just the real. So here's
In the SAU, I thought, no? Because I thought they had these two.
It's one of the ones that we'll talk about.
I think we should have a link to the SAU personally.
Well, so here's just to wrap it up, because I don't want to hijack your meeting. And thank you, first of all, for allowing me to come up here. As far as the questions that we had tonight, I will get back to all of you with that information, because what's being said is concerning to me, and I know that it's not 100% correct, so I'll get back to you on that. And again, the way this has gone back and forth, this is exactly why I was hoping to have the link out there so people do have correct information. But I have to say, and I respect you all, we're all friends, I mean, it's a small town, right? I respect you all, but like, I'm super disappointed, because you're the leaders of the town, you're the Board of Selectmen, and when I come to you and say, I want to put out there factual information that doesn't sway either way, and then tonight all I hear is don't do it, don't do it, don't do it to the cameras, and then I feel like as the leaders that you're putting out there, don't do it, don't do it.
No, I just want to know when it says, like, if this is the factual information that you're giving me, I'm a numbers guy, so I like numbers.
Right, me too.
So when somebody gives me 17.8 and I say, what's the cost? 17.8, but I know
it's 25.
It's 18.2
or 25.
To me, it's like that's not. I just want the numbers. I don't like Adam said. If it's 17.8, great. If it's 18.2, great. Just tell me what the number is. Don't dance around it. Just give me the freaking number.
You're here.
I just want to know what the number is.
This is my argument. I don't know if last year was the same thing. Is like, what is the true number?
Yeah.
What is our actual number? And I'm like all for put that on the town website, but I want to see the real number, not the 17.8. Because over the life of the loan, if I live here the rest of my life, the next 20 years, how much is that going to cost me as a taxpayer?
Every year, about $184 a year.
All right. So I think I was here at the budget hearing 2 weeks ago. And our taxes are what, $700 and something going up this year?
Somewhere between.
Approximately, if everything.
Approximately,
Yeah.
you know,
If everything passes.
ballpark.
Okay.
And would they go up last year?
300 to 400.
Pretty good.
Alright, so
pretty good
at
shot.
this rate, you know.
We'll be
I've
living in
averaged
the woods.
9.87% tax
At this
increase
rate, and I'm
every
not
year since
knocking
I've
the
been-
school project, at this rate, people that have lived here their whole lives, even people that have moved in here,
Can't
they
afford it.
cannot afford to live here. And that's what we're coming to.
Yeah.
Is that we're gonna, when my tax bill passes my mortgage payment with flying colors, there's a problem.
Yeah,
It's just how I feel about it.
I agree with you.
I don't disagree with what
I
you're saying.
think we
but
just,
you're right.
I agree, I just think we have to, just like the same thing if the taxpayers came and said, we're going up $700, but we're not gonna vote for Row Road, like, that's not, you know, I think we have to weigh it all against each other, so.
But to the fairness of that, when Wayne comes in and presents a budget, that's the $280,000 that's gonna be spent for paving and road reconstruction. That's the true number. And usually, most of the time, it comes back a little less.
A little less.
It's never the case, and I'm not knocking the school system, but they spend every penny and then some.
But we don't have a choice with the bond now.
I understand
And we
that.
don't spend, but I do wanna supplement, we don't spend every penny because Swayze gives back 150 to 200,000 every year. And the co-op, we were over by 3 million the past couple of years, and we have a new superintendent that said, no, enough is enough. And so now we're budgeting within 3% versus 5%. So I do think the school is working very hard.
Well, okay.
We can talk later, but this is their
And-
meeting.
and-
No, before you go.
Well, I wanted to say this one thing though, but when a bond ends.
I'm okay with getting it
And
out.
they had, when the bond ends,
Especially in
say at the high
Duncan.
school, the bond ended. The bond's over and they had that payment that was been there and that money had been allotted. You never see that reflect upon your tax bill. Our taxes never go down, they only go up.
Yeah, so what, if in that particular year, I don't know if you had seen that, but we had a raise in our share of the retirement for the teachers. The same thing with their health insurance had gone up quite a bit, but that was discussed at the public hearing, and that was also discussed at the deliberative session for that. So it's all out there, and I would argue that people that are saying we're hiding stuff, it's right there, it's in print, it's on the website.
Oh, thanks. You me one too?
Sorry,
I'm so very much
I'm not good at throwing.
Let me just reflect on the camera that we're not throwing stuff at people.
They were throwing it at the school board.
No.
Very disrespectful.
We're bringing candy to the next school board.
So I'd like to just clarify what happened trying to get this information from the school. I talked to Jennifer Blackwood, I talked to Marcia, I talked to a woman named Sally, I spoke very briefly to a gentleman by the name of Frank, and I could not get information. I could not get who was running for what towns had positions open. I could not get numbers. Nobody had any numbers. It was either not prepared yet, or they weren't sure, or I couldn't get any information. So I had to rely on what other people were gathering. So that bothers me a little bit that we have this discussion tonight, because now I can't get it in the newsletter to get it out to the town.
But as your school board rep, I wish that we had talked, or the superintendent.
You're on the list. You have received an email for at least a year. I've been doing this more than a year.
No questions, I'm just saying, if you had direct, and my telephone number is on the Swayze website too.
When was the deliberative session again?
I have called you in the past.
Oh,
give you my
3
phone
weeks maybe.
So 2-3
February
weeks,
7th.
February 7th was a deliberative session, and I know at the deliberative session, one of the things that came up was the 17.8 plus the 400 and some odd dollars. Well, if this is the stuff they're putting out now, how come it doesn't have 18.2? And I guess that would be my whole thing. Yes, but they haven't updated it. They haven't adopted it. It should have been
I
part
would,
of
I
the.
would point out to you that at the deliberative session, that's where also that number of $40 million came from, which was also incorrect.
Yeah.
So.
But it's in the warrant
If we're-
articles where that's
If we're
40.5.
getting information from the business office and the SAU, at this point, they should have their act together.
In all fairness though.
In all fairness, they should have their
In
act
all
together. They're getting
fairness,
paid a lot of money to
in
have their act
that
together.
moment in time, I think possibly when that question was proposed, I know someone chose to answer, they probably should have said, let me get back to you, I need to check the numbers.
We'll update the website that you have for the
Exactly.
CMS, whatever.
So while we're still on camera, and I don't want this to end in a bad way, I want to thank you. I thank you because you've done a hard job, and you're up against a lot of angry people and happy people.
I just want the true number.
You got a tough position here.
It's definitely
You do.
difficult,
Because
because
this is-
your
And I
job is.
appreciate that you're willing to do that and that you still are running, even though, even after meetings like this.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Cause I love you guys so much.
Well, we
Well,
appreciate
save
you
us some
coming in,
money.
and hey, and on WNN, we're gonna be very excited because we get to post it.
But we just want the right number.
We want the right number. And then Butch was raising his hand, so I'm gonna go to Butch.
A couple of things I want to address, but while Melissa's here, thank you for coming in. But she came in specifically to ask for a link to the CMS project on the town's website, which I support the board's decision not to put that up because it may appear that you're endorsing it or taking a position.
Right.
But I don't think there'd be anything wrong with having a link to the SAU site, because we have links on the town website to the Historical Society, the police department, and other things.
I'd be all for it.
And then I'd also like to see the SAU cross-link back to the town's website, so when people look for information, they can find it. And I suspect you'll have a harder time getting the SAU to post a link to Brentwood than we will having Brentwood post a link to the school website, and then people can find it.
The link for the SAU. If we have one for Swayze, we should have one for the SAU. Do you have a second for that?
I'll second that.
All in favor? All in favor of putting the SAU on our website?
Is there a cost associated, Chairman?
I don't believe so, it's just a link.
Enough for the link, okay.
Your link was actually much cheaper.
You got 2 votes, you can make it.
It's just a link so people.
So the video is linked to the website now?
No, they will be within a week. Oh, his videos?
So we have to wait till next
I was
week,
talking about
it's
the
2 to 2.
archive minutes.
Bill, why don't you put a link to the SAU?
2 for and 2 against. So I gotta wait till next week until I have a full.
Well, that-
Bob,
Wait,
hang on a second then. I think you,
Spend the money, send it back.
There's no money.
I know.
It's free.
It's free?
Everything's free.
Okay.
yeah.
It is
So,
already there.
all in favor?
Who's opposed?
Aye. All opposed?
Opposed.
There, passed.
Yeah, I got it.
The link to the SAU
It is
will be
there.
on there.
It is there. When you go to the Swayze site, it is one of the links that.
Well,
you can go.
we'll have Swayze, we'll have SAU.
Okay, Butchie, I'm gonna go home.
Anything else?
25th.
I thought you had something else.
I don't want to step on anybody's toes with the school, because Melissa's still sitting there,
Are you all
so
set? Let me answer your question.
I don't want to run her off.
I don't wanna take over your meeting, I'm all set. I
Who's
can
that?
sit here all night.
Okay,
Are you
next.
good?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to follow up on something Adam brought up earlier, just to clarify. And if I understood you right, the chief has presented whatever she needed to police standards and training, and they've indicated that they're going to certify the new sergeant with 2 contingencies. One was passing the physical agility test, or physical fitness test, and the other was completing the New Hampshire law package. And the chief indicated she had up to 6 months to get that done. So I guess the question goes back to, for the town of Brentwood, can an officer be on patrol until they're certified?
No.
Because I'm
Okay,
confused.
until I get I need to get a letter from them first.
Well, they're indicating that he can be certified on these 2 things.
Yep,
Physical agility test and the law package.
yep.
But that does not make the person certified. And I don't, I'm asking because I don't know the answer to this.
If I can address the law package, because I checked, okay, I did check, I brought it up with the chief. The law package is a CD that he can take over the next several weeks or whatever. He has to pass the law package, but he doesn't have to pass it today. He has a period of time, whatever it is. The physical fitness test, however, he needs to pass that before he can be certified to be on the road by himself. That's what I was told at the Standards and Certification Bureau in Concord by the state police. So I brought that up.
And just to follow up on that, to be clear, police standards, they're not as quick as the town of Brentwood about getting their minutes up. Those are public meetings, and that will be in the minutes
For the police standards?
for the police standards.
I
It's
would
on
assume
the,
so, because they, Major Dave Parento
Parento.
of New Hampshire Police Standards and Training is the one that advised that the council had met in the morning, so that was yesterday morning,
right.
Tuesday?
What I'm confused about, and I didn't know this, any officer that gets hired by the town of Brentwood, before they can be on patrol, they have to be certified by the state of New Hampshire?
Correct. It has to be certified by the State Police Standards and Certification Bureau. Yep.
Then they have like 300 hours of FTO training they need also, so they can be on their
So
own.
if they met this morning, because they sent this out, she sent this to us at 11:17 this morning. So they must have met before 11:17 today.
He did at 9.
They met at 9 o'clock?
And
so
what-
they
I just
met-
want to make sure I understood what the board was saying. They're saying he's eligible, this person, any officer, is eligible to be certified, this one in particular, but necessarily he won't be certified until those 2 things are done. And then
Yeah, it
that
says
person
he's-
can't patrol for the town of Brentwood until those things have been
It
accomplished.
says, right, and it says he's been approved, they approved Dan Wicks for New Hampshire certification upon completion of the physical fitness test and law package. I don't know where he stands on, has he scheduled to take those? I don't know. That's something
So he
I would
can
have
still
to-
go in the car with somebody else.
He's been on doing the hours.
been there.
He's been on doing
Haven't
that.
scheduled it, he hasn't done it yet.
I don't know who schedules it or when they get it done.
You doing it from police trainers and standard?
Yep,
Yeah,
They'll schedule
they'll
it.
schedule it and then advise.
so they schedule it, how long, how long does it usually take to get that done?
I don't know, they tried it, I mean, it's not ever how soon he wants to get out on the road.
So they can schedule
They
it
can-
right away?
In the next couple of weeks, he could
Who
be up
knows?
there doing it.
Could be in 2 weeks.
As long as he passes it, he's good to
then
go.
we get a
If he
letter
don't
and-
pass it, then
He's blessed to go.
Presuming he passes it.
But usually I wouldn't read anything like that until I get a letter. But
yeah,
Adam
they can't
asked,
do
so I
police
read
trainers and
it.
standard.
Because to me, it's not accurate until I get a letter saying that, because they're gonna send a letter. So until we get a letter indicating that, their decision, I don't know.
Just while we're on this topic, if and when the next couple people leave the department, which good, bad, or indifferent, whatever, if one guy retires and another leaves, or two leave, what will the townspeople know what the contingency plan is for the
Yes.
for the police department?
I've already asked what that is.
So we know who's gonna fill in or cover, because I mean, we lose too many people at once, we don't have anybody to work.
Right.
And I mean, it's obviously, I mean, it is what it is now.
I know they've already touched base with the state police. If we need coverage, can we get that coverage? And I believe they've already indicated that they would, if we needed it.
Just one real quick point on state police coverage though, with a budget of $920,000 for our police department. State police covers from their house most of the time, and I think Wayne can probably if I'm wrong, please call me out, but state police a lot of times are on call. So if they're covering for the town, there's no one on the road. They're not driving around on the roads in town like our guys are.
Well, I know there was some discussion with the sheriff too, so I don't know.
It would be the same thing with sheriff
Well,
and
the
state
sheriff is
police.
right here, so
Yeah.
right on North Road.
State police usually have units out. They have them on 95 or
101.
Yeah, there's usually probably maybe 3 or 4 units that are out. So whoever's close and not home sleeping, they're out on the road. They're gonna get a call. If they get a call to Brentwood, they come into Brentwood.
There used to be like five cars in the area,
Yeah,
they 101, 95.
Is there,
16, I mean,
is
they're
the
not
one in
really-
Epping, is that a,
Yep.
that's one of
Troop
the,
A.
that's one of the troops, right? So
Troop A, yeah.
It's right in Epping.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is, so as taxpayers will be made aware of the fact that we're being covered at certain
If we were covered, then yeah, I would wanna tell you guys that.
Alright,
Was
great.
it East Kingston's been like that for years. Like they
Did
go in
Sandown
at
have
like 2
some
o'clock in the
coverage?
morning and then state police cover.
I thought Sandown was having some coverage. too.
Sandown I think did too one time.
Yeah.
But I know East Kingston did for a long time.
Yeah.
They always had.
I mean, we're paying for it, why not take advantage?
Right, right.
People are out patrolling anyway.
They're out there, or if the state police can't handle it, and then that's when they go to the chief. They call the chief and say, hey, we can't make it, and
From the sheriff's department's out too. The sheriff's department's.
the sheriff's department used to have 2 cars out at night, but I don't think they do now. I don't think they do, but when they had them out too, they used to help out.
Do police departments like fire departments have a mutual aid agreement?
Yes.
Yes.
All over.
Yep.
And if they can't, if somebody can't get there quick enough, I know a lot of times, they'd call me or something, they'd start Fremont, they'd start Epping, because they're out there 24 hours too. Somebody would get into a call.
I know there was an accident right down in Kingston, was it a week, 2 weeks ago? And I know George was down there, and we had somebody else down there, and that was in Kingston, but they needed the assistance, so our guys.
About a year
were
ago,
coming.
the Fremont cops used to come over to Bessie's all the time. I'd see the Fremont cruiser at Bessie's, so I think that we got good coverage.
They go to Dunkin'
It's all Starbucks now, they get free at Starbucks. Well, they're 6 in the morning, there's like 5 crews.
I mean, it was a smart remark, but
They're
you
all
see
up
them.
there.
Yeah.
All different towns.
I guess my point was we could assume there might be a surplus in the budget.
They should be if they.
Well, if everybody leaves, I guess there
Then
will
we'll
be.
be having
Right.
we'll have
I mean,
training-
I guess that's my
No,
question.
then we'll have training costs.
You'll be guaranteed coverage. Usually.
All right, anything else? Going once?
No, one,
Oh, gee.
one final, one
That's
final.
okay, we're well within
I
the
was
time.
going to
Sorry,
2 and
sorry.
3.
This was
This
a
is really
12-minute
only
meeting
a
tonight.
few
It's been an
seconds.
hour.
This is just for my information. I had an opportunity to come into the town office to visit my rec director and learn that there's an intern there now. Is that a paid or an unpaid internship?
Unpaid.
Unpaid, and what program does that run through?
UNH.
UNH.
Is it reimbursed unpaid, or is it strictly
Strictly
unpaid?
unpaid.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
I think she's here 40 hours, right?
He said 40 hours a
It's a
week
guy.
for 12 weeks.
He's here more hours than our rec director?
Nope, Andy said 40 hours a week.
32.
Nope, Andy's 40
He's
hours.
full-time.
He's a full-time employee.
Okay, so his thing says Monday through Thursday.
His posted open office hours are 32 hours.
Oh, but he's still
he is here 40 hours, because that's
Good
to
to know.
accommodate for games and.
Good to know. Well, I know
Opening
he's
the
here
ride.
tonight, yeah, things like that, yeah, okay.
Moving the tables back and forth like he did
He
today.
does whatever is
I
necessary.
Oh, this looks awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I want to compliment you. This, we could hear a lot better.
Oh, good.
I don't like looking at back, so this was beautiful. This was a.
Well, you had to look at our back. We did.
Bill wants to buy a brand new table though with a screen on the front. He's gonna.
I'll donate to the
Never seen his
table.
legs.
I'll
like
live out the nitty
I'm a
gritty.
little
He wants
uncomfortable
he wants the
with
bunting
everybody.
on the
Yeah.
front.
You know, his skirt, yeah.
I'm a little uncomfortable with everybody staring.
All
at
right,
us.
so any other questions?
No, let's go home.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
2 more to go. 2 more.
Thanks much. Thanks, Melissa, for coming in. Take care.
Anybody want this to take home?
Yes.